Thank you for the intro. So I'm part of a team at Perkins&Will, which is a global architecture and design firm. And our team is called IO, and it's a kind of a specialty team in digital. We do a lot of hopefully innovative work in a kind of a R&D fashion. And so we're a kind of transdisciplinary team of coders, developers, subject matter experts in the domains of architecture and engineering and planning. We're part of a larger group of companies as well that spans all sorts of various kinds of built environment planning companies with focus in the airspace, focus in infrastructure design, heavy engineering focus, and various different specialties. And so we've been working for a number of years to build up a center of excellence around spatial intelligence and experience applications in particular. And so we've been working on numerous projects in this domain for a little while, and we're looking for a slightly different project this quarter to kind of explore some different tech stack opportunities, as well as think about some different ways to tackle some emerging problems in the world or emerging opportunities in the world. And so one of those opportunities that we're seeing and hearing from some of our clients was around advanced air mobility. And so thinking about advanced air mobility and its kind of, I guess, nearness, we'll call it, with drone manufacturers and eVTOL manufacturers starting to bring their product online in the next few years, regulatory planning, permissions coming through. There's going to be some really unique opportunities brewing in this space for a totally new and hopefully transformative form of transportation, which is air transit brought down to the level of everyday passenger flows, freight flows. But we're also seeing that there's a lot of interesting nuance in the space as regards our clients and our current client base. We work for obviously everything from organizations to municipalities, sometimes all the way up to entire countries. And air mobility in particular, beyond the NASA FAA space, is filled with lots of interesting and highly nuanced spatial relationships, whether it's everything from 2D, 3D airspace inside of cities, thinking about opportunities for intermodal transit linkages. What are the service offerings that could or should be built around air mobility? And so we decided to kind of set up a portal or a microsite to start to explore this and potentially offer a prototype of what some planning tools in the space might be, and heavily focused again around geospatial analysis. So I'm just going to show just a couple of quick wireframes of kind of where we were starting. I think we foresee that in a kind of very engaging way, there might be some opportunities for some simulation to help start people on the journey of understanding what the opportunities might be, and then a whole host of both open data, proprietary data sets that we could start to connect into this equation to think about how we plan for a future where we have a totally air-driven mode of transportation that's starting to emerge in regional transit and urban environments. And so with that, I'm just going to dive in a little bit to just demo kind of our current progress. And so we've been working on this site. This is a local build right now, but we'll be publishing this information when it's ready. And we're looking to start layering in different viewpoints from our company, from our practice areas, and some of our sister companies. Thinking about what are the different opportunities, what are the ins and outs, what levels of expertise, and sort of just information that sometimes planners and engineers might take for granted, but are not on the radars of departments of transit or airport planners, airports themselves, and cities. And we're building this on top of a kind of an open map scaffold, which is what I'll demo now. So each of those stories will start to have a sense of kind of specificity, both around content and also data layers in this toolkit. But the initial focus of the team has been on building out the starting platform of the armature of this tool and this web experience. So we're building this on top of Mapbox, and a huge shout out to the VizGL team for the libraries that they've made available and the work they've been doing, which we've been leveraging on this project. So within our mapping context, there's a lot of things that we're starting to do here with some basic parts of thinking about planning an air network. One is placing vertiports. From a vertiport, we're drawing 5, 10, and 15-minute walking isochrones so that we can get a sense of what the opportunities are, for this to be another form of intermodal transit. We're a primarily Chicago-based team, so I'm just going to use Chicago as a drawing pad for this, but really this is designed to work anywhere in the world, with obviously varying levels of open data. We're looking at some ranges here, so 15, 42, and 100 kilometers, 42 kilometers being an early projection from Joby, for example, on what the average mission trajectory would be for early flights and early service. And so getting a sense of what the opportunities are to link into things like the existing air space of airports, so Class A airspace, and linking to airports. So let's drop another vertiport here to enable fast transit to O'Hare. I think a lot of airport operators that we've been talking to amongst our client base have concerns around power and thinking about how we're going to leverage power and fuel power for charging eVTOLs in these kinds of stations. So that's another one that we're going to have as a data layer. We're looking at some homeland provided electric substation data and electric substation line or electric grid infrastructure here, thinking about connecting various different nodes in the city. Let's maybe think about the south side of Chicago and Jackson Park near the future site of the Obama Presidential Center. And so for each of these vertiports now, when we click in the open tool, we're starting to layer in some open layers. So again, connecting to that substation data to get some sense of what are the voltage potentials. Transit, we're leveraging the Transit API from here as a way to see what local linkages are to other kinds of intermodal transit. Let's see some other features here quickly. Drawing obstruction zones is another one. Just because you want access from the downtown core of the city, you might not want a drone and eVTOL traffic flying directly over the loop, and then being able to start to build actual routes and route networks across these various vertiports in 3D. And so now we're looking into 3D routing with elevation mission routing as well, thinking about being able to manipulate these lines in 3D, enabled again by tools like DeckGL and NebulaGL. And so from here, you can really start to build out and explore, kind of what the potential of a network is. We're not at any kind of simulation stage yet, but we're starting to think about, what these, being able to communicate, more importantly, what these opportunities are, what the downfalls and caveats might be, thinking about, where existing infrastructure needs to be shorn up. We have energy consultants as part of our sister companies that are thinking about new greenfield energy opportunities that might be tied to the development of this infrastructure in vertiports and aerodromes in, again, both urban context, which is what we've been looking at so far. And urban context is going to, be very strictly focused, we suspect, and what we're hearing is on noise control, noise abatement, careful planning of routing, and obviously avoiding obstructions in the urban context being one of the main concerns here. But then also, there's other opportunities in freight, autonomous freight, and regional context as well that start to push the boundaries. This 100-kilometer range, 60-mile range is probably not yet in sight, in a reasonable way for some kinds of transit, but certainly for freight, it might be an option. And so thinking about linking areas like in this case the Michigan borders, Michigan, Wisconsin, Chicago, and the greater super region, and thinking about regional infrastructure as well. There might be opportunities in resilience that we're looking into, and within our stories, we're going to just start diving into kind of stories around the world. Chicago specifically, thinking about intermodal transit, leveraging data from the CTA and the open data portal, and starting there. There's a really interesting project coming out of Nairobi with open data around paratransit and open Mutatu networks, which are buses. So we're going to be leveraging some of these data sets and opportunities to think about various flavors of AAM, and looking to bring that into focus with some curated stories and content backed up with our expertise, and sharing that with the world. And so I think that's probably about my presentation time. So I don't know, Ollie, if you'd like, or if you'd like to open up for questions.
Yeah, I think we have time for a couple of questions. Thank you so much for that demo. Beautiful maps and awesome use case. I know I'm still waiting for the day to get my Amazon packages delivered via drone. So
Yep, or avoid that traffic to the airport.
even better, even better. I live in Manhattan, so that'd be fabulous. But we do have a couple of questions. So first, let's start off with, can you feed live data streams into this tool for real-time analysis?
Great question. We are doing that in a sense, right? I mean, so this data coming from here, for example, is an API fed data link, right? And so, we're setting up and planning to consume APIs. This is a bit of a demonstration tool still at the moment. So we're looking to leverage, kind of freemium tools like Mapbox in here, and can provide that service, but consuming those APIs and starting to tap into things like mobility data, for example, which would allow us to not only see kind of existing patterns and road networks and road traffic, but really historic flows of people through the existing network, right? And think about opportunities to alleviate that traffic with a point-to-point transit system.
Absolutely. And this next question is around something I'm sure you get asked about a lot working with advanced air mobility, is regulations and regulatory issues. So how do you anticipate the FAA or NASA to influence the regulatory process of advanced air mobility? It seems like a very open field at this point, but does this seem like something on their radar currently?
It's definitely on their radar. Our research, and obviously, I'm not one of our sister companies. Landerman Brown is aviation expertise, has great aviation expertise, but they're actually often work with the FAA. But the FAA has started, I know, publishing documentation about where they see initial service for air transit, what the restrictions are going to be. There's a lot of discussion about airspace management. I know that's going on currently, and it's all coming together as this product hits the market.
Absolutely. And then one use case that wasn't touched on, but network dark spots within cities are a huge barrier for advanced air mobility. How can this tool address concerns like this?
Sorry, what was the dark spots?
Network dark spots within cities.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, so that's exactly one of the things that we're looking to explore, right? Because the opportunity to to have two vertiports and then connect disparate transit sections or areas of the transit network is a huge opportunity, right? I think longer term, there's an idea that you can have a truly decentralized point-to-point system of transit, which isn't relying on routes at all. But even in the near term, there's probably plenty of cities around the world that fixing those dark spots or connecting those dark spots would be a huge near-term opportunity.
Absolutely. A lot of players involved here, but excited to see what's to come from this tool. And thank you so much for your presentation today, Satya.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Elena, for having us. And feel free to reach out to anyone with further questions.
Perfect. Thank you.